talk a little bit about what it means to be an empath. It's kind of a perfect day for me to make a video like this because I actually feel like total shit. And it's nothing I did. I didn't go out drinking. I've been eating super healthy, raw, vegan, beautiful food, organic food, natural mountain spring water. I've been exercising. I've been doing everything right. And what put me into this tailspin of low energy was and is and consistently is being around too many people that I don't want to say I don't vibe with, because that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just their vibration is very different, and I'm very empathic, and I can pick up on things, and that doesn't make me better in any regard that I can pick up on those things. It's just intense. It's a lot. And if you are naturally an empath, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's like you're dealing with this wave of energy, and it has to go somewhere. And it's like we absorb all of the insecurities, all of the negativity, all of the lower vibrational frequencies of what's going on out there. And myself, I have to be alone. I have to go back into my cocoon frequently and just get away from all the noise. When I was younger, I found it extremely difficult. So if there's any, younger people watching, I would go into a movie theater, I would go into a mall, and I would almost have it'd be like a panic attack, but it was just like energy overload. I would just feel it, and I couldn't handle all of the noise of that low vibrational energy that was essentially that I was around. And I'm not saying that people that are not awake or are dealing with struggles are bad people. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying they're unaware. They're unaware how their sarcasm, how, belittling comments, how a sense of humor that is even slightly tearing somebody else down can affect the way you feel. If you're not actively building others up with the nature of how you're being and what you are projecting out into the universe, it's complicated communication. It has undertones of things that don't make sense. Sarcasm specifically, it's like, are you being real? Like, do you really mean what you're saying to me right now? Are you really saying that? Or am I supposed to just be like, yeah, that's funny? Like, I've never understood it. And I know people will say like, get a sense of humor, and there's a difference between like sarcasm that is like completely from a loving place where somebody is being playful and that they kind of like bump you after and they're like, oh yeah, it's all good. And sarcasm that is meant to undermine how you feel and take you from here to here. Because again, a lot of times people that are in that, maybe they're insecure within themselves, but when they're kind of giving these cheap shots, and I've noticed also a lot of guys do this. Like, guys do this to guys all the time. No wonder why like men cannot show their emotions. It's like the barrage of like just negativity that most men greet each other with. Like, the way that they communicate is so bizarre. It's just like, let's just put each other down, and like there's always like a bigger diss or something. Like, I don't get it. And I also don't enjoy being around that energy. I've worked with lots of like sales teams, like male dominated sales teams, that kind of thing. And quite frankly, I'm just like, get me the hell out of here. Like, this form of communication doesn't work for me at all. I mean, when you think about dealing with other people, you really, especially if you find that you're around people that can be kind of energy vampires in a sense, look at how they're talking, look at what they're talking about, what are they speaking about. I can't handle gossip. Like, if people are just talking about other people and all up in their business and what this person's doing, who that person's dating. I found it like such a waste of my time. Like, unless you're talking about changing the world or, really creating something or art or music or, something fabulous, it's just like I have no interest in it. I don't like talking about it. I don't even look at other people's stuff, like social media. It's not that I could care less. It's just, it's not a real connection. Like, if I'm going to deal with a person, it's going to be like in their energy. Like, I want to be real with them. I don't want to look at a screen and like try to estimate what that person's thinking or doing or experiencing. Either it's a real connection and I'm going to be really a part of their life, or else I don't really care. And I'm certainly not going to use, my brain focusing on that. I love learning. I love reading. I love anything to do with creating art, music, dance, companies, stuff. Like, it's got to have forward moving momentum, or else it just doesn't work for my vibration. And I think a lot of people that are empathic, again, are going to be very creative, because you need to tap into that, what has the ether where all of this wonderful creative energy exists. So you need to be able to go there, but it gives, that the way that your aura is kind of permeable, that allows you to reach out and, synthesize that creative energy, also makes you very empathic. And so, I'm making this video, first of all, to say that, like, that's okay. You're not weird. I even myself sometimes feel like, what is wrong with me? Like, I see people around me that can just, like, it's water off a duck's back, like, no big deal. They can deal with, massive amounts of energy, or they can go, like, I can't go downtown and see like drug addicts walking around and like this crazy energy. And like, if I go into a restaurant, I can immediately tell like who's on drugs, who's overly intoxicated, who's in a negative energy and like fighting with their spouse. Like, it's like I see it all, and it's very overwhelming for me, and it's not calibrating to this like warm home, safe energy. So, and I think it really relates back to that too. Like, I need to feel safe in any environment. And if I pick up the vibration of very unstable, really chaotic, sort of irrational kind of energy, I never enjoy being around that. And I really have to decompress. So again, like going to big concerts, or, I understand why people have to get intoxicated to go to that stuff, because again, there's not a lot of real relating going on. Music, 100%, I love it, but I'm not going to be at a concert or at a festival along with all of this chaos and feel safe. First of all, because I've been to these things, and there's a lot of like crazy male energy, crazy female energy, a lot of drinking, a lot of just too much of that lower vibration. And you feel unsafe. Like, none of those people are really caring about themselves necessarily, or caring about you in the moment. And it's very evident. And I feel like, when I was younger, I would go into that situation. I would still feel pretty panicky, but, if I had a few drinks, I could at least lower my vibration enough through the mechanism of some sort of substance to get myself to be okay to exist there. But then the fallout of that was like detrimental. Like, my aura, my being, I just can't, I just can't synthesize that kind of stuff. It just doesn't work with me. So then it's like, okay, now I'm trying to, or I've had to try to figure out how to do it without that crutch of having a substance. And you just come to a point where you have to be real. And the realness that I realized is that it's just like, it doesn't work for me. Like, I have to be cocooned. My energy has to be cocooned. And it is, again, because I'm so empathic and I'm so able to pick up on energy. And when you kind of relate it back to like psychology, I studied psychology in university. I went through a very traumatic childhood. So part of that was that I had to have like massive amounts of self-awareness for every situation. I never knew what I was walking into at any given time. So I had to be aware of my environment at all times to kind of guard my own safety as a little person. And so that could have been part of, why I became very empathic, but I was always a very strange child. I was always very, very artistic, very much, lived in my imagination. And I don't know if that's strange, but I mean, I never felt like, okay, I am like the other kids, or I fit into this, whatever it is, societal matrix. And so as we move through life, how do we figure out this balancing act of creating an energy and a life and an existence that works for us? For me, it's giving myself the permission to check out, realizing that I need what I need to be able to bring the best of myself. I have to fill my cup. And part of what allows me to do that is alone time. When I'm alone, I ground myself, I'm peaceful, I can, calm my brain. I'm not continually being the giver, worrying that everybody else is okay. When I'm finally in that stage where I can be alone, I can I'm waiting to exhale. I'm like, okay, now I can just be. And I need that a lot. I really do. I need it every day. And it's not bad if you're an empathic person to draw those boundaries, and especially in relationships. Like, one of the, I think, most detrimental aspects of any relationship, especially romantic relationships, spousal relationships, is if the partner is so codependent that they're constantly needing your energy and they don't allow you to just be in your own energy. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. And we were born as individuals, and all of a sudden society expects us to create this relationship with somebody else and then be totally attached in all things. You have to sleep with them every night in the bed. You have to give them all your time, eat every meal with them. And that's very overwhelming. And I'm not sure that that's actually a healthy way to live. I think more so it's about finding balance and getting to a point where you can kind of dip in and out, not in an, you have to be monogamous if that's what you decide to be with your partner. But I think you need to be able to go away and reconstitute your energy and then be able to come back. And as an empath, find a situation where you are allowed to do that. And allowed is such a stupid word, but really where there's a common denominator where both parties are like, yeah, we're both completely sovereign individuals, and we have self-love, we love our own space, but there's going to be times where I need to just be. I don't want to explain my beingness. I don't want to explain where I'm going, what I'm doing. I don't want to have to report back. That is an overwhelming energy, and it's not the energy of love. It's like some sort of control mechanism. And unfortunately, I feel like in today's day and age, maybe every age, that has been a thing, where as soon as you're in the land of coupledom, you therefore have a commander, and you have to report back, and you have to check in and say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and this is how my day is gonna roll out. And I think if you are just a good person, you don't have to do that.